Good morning and welcome to RJK News. I'm Katy Booth. Our top stories today: Rebecca Layton and the charges being dropped against her, linked to the several deaths at Stepping Hill Hospital, and the 10-year anniversary of the devastating tragedy of 9/11. Rebecca Layton, 27, of Heatherley in Stockport, was arrested by police investigating the deaths of several patients in July. Greater Manchester Police have revealed they are investigating 40 cases of contamination, including 7 deaths. Prosecutors have said there has not been sufficient evidence for whether the case could go ahead. Miss Layton says she has been living in hell. I was out on the streets earlier and asked the people of Stockport their views on the charges being dropped against Rebecca Layton and whether she has been treated fairly.
Whether the police could have handled it differently, I don't know. But I feel desperately sorry for her because now she's trying to fight to resurrect her career. And no matter what happens, there's always going to be that air of suspicion over her, so I feel very sorry for her.
I don't think it should have been made public until they really had the evidence they needed, but I don't think there's any smoke without fire, and I think there's something in it, and I think, you know, if they had enough evidence, maybe, yeah, they could charge her.
It's unfair that a name was announced when everything came out, because she now doesn't have a job, or she's going to be very hard to employ.
Her name was splashed all over the press. The fact that you didn't need to introduce her, you just said Rebecca Layton. I know exactly who she is. I know her in Stockport, but you know, she was on the front page of every newspaper in the land. So that can't be a good thing.
We now go over to Rochelle live in New York.
Good morning, I'm Rochelle Huntley reporting live from Ground Zero for RJK News. Sunday marked the 10th anniversary of the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center in New York. The day-long memorial ceremony here at Ground Zero included the unveiling of the memorial waterfalls that stand in the footprints of the two towers. These waterfalls feature the names of all 2,753 victims who died in the tower attacks, engraved around the edges in bronze plaques. President Obama and his family stood side by side with former President George W. Bush and his family at the ceremony. Both presidents read out quotes from the Bible during the memorial, with President Obama reading a small quote from Psalm 46:4. The day has been quoted on Twitter as a day for reflection and a fitting tribute to all those who lost their lives in these dreadful attacks. Now back to Katy in the studio.
Thoughts with the families of the victims. Now for today's sports with Jordan.
Hi, I'm Jordan. Here's some of the week's sports news. So it was a good week for Manchester football, as both Manchester teams continue to stamp their dominance in the Premier League. Manchester City eased to a 3-0 win over a lacklustre Wigan side due to a Sergio Aguero hat-trick, and Manchester United completed a 5-0 mauling at Bolton, with Wayne Rooney scoring a second hat-trick in as many games. The striker's recent return to form has seen him score 8 goals so far this season and eased many minds across the nation, as Rooney's talent to appear lost at times last season. In other football news, Liverpool suffered their first defeat of the season and Arsenal gained their first win after a series of setbacks. Now to boxing. David Haye stated he would delay any retirement plans if he gets a chance to fight either of the Klitschko brothers. Haye lost his WBA title to Vladimir in July, having previously stated he wasn't fully fit entering the fight. Haye would relish his chance to prove himself against the dominant brothers. Straight to Jack with the weather.
Good morning. The weather for tomorrow isn't looking great, I'm afraid, as we see huge torrential rains and winds heading for the UK, with the winds potentially reaching 66 miles an hour, also a major hurricane hitting some areas. The rainy spells look as if they will be sticking around for a couple of days, as we can see plenty of rain clouds coming across from the west, with temperatures of only reaching up to 12 degrees in the luckier places such as London and Cardiff. Unfortunately, for those in the north of the UK, it is extremely windy, with a max temperature of only 9 degrees, with winds reaching up to 60 to 65 miles an hour as the hurricane is heading for Scotland. With the weather looking bleak for tomorrow, let's take a look if there are any sunny spells soon. It looks as if the sunny spells will be coming later in the week, so at least we have something to look forward to. There are major flood risks in the worst areas of rain, so beware and be prepared. That's all from the weather. Back to Katy.
That's it for this morning. Tune in at 10 for more updates on these headlines.